The design checklist is a code static analysis tool that we've developed over the past few years. It allows students to log in, and if they're students, to view their projects, or if they're a TA, such as myself, they can view specific students for grading. For students, they can select one of their projects in the drop-down below, and then after selecting View Project, they'll be taken to the project dashboard. This dashboard at the top shows some statistics for the project. So it shows lines of code, classes, abstract classes, subclasses, interfaces, and many other statistics for the project. It also tells students the data for the last commit that was analyzed to make sure that they're viewing the right part of their project. On the left part of the screen, we highlight the most important issues. We view this as the longest methods, duplication if they have any, and then some of the most critical issues that we've determined for the specific class. To the right, we can see the to-dos that the students have. This is a fully customizable view where when the students are viewing any issues, they can add or remove to-dos and mark them as completed or not completed, along with updating the severity if necessary. When viewing one of these issues, you can see the code that corresponds to the issue. So for example, this is gameoperator.java, line 73, and we can see here that the issue here is that the method has 72 lines. And as we can see here, it's an extremely long method that should probably be extracted out into some smaller helper methods. At the bottom of the screen, we can see the view of the project by directory. So here we can see that there are 123 total issues, all of which are obviously in the source folder. But expanding this out, we can see exactly how these are split. So for example, in source/monopoly/view controller, we can see this is the breakdown of issues. The size of each box corresponds to how big the file is. The color corresponds to the number of issues that are in the file, which you can see in the top left here. So in this example, Screen Creator is a large file with 41 issues. Clicking on one of these files, you can see the specific issues ordered by severity. So I'll move from medium issues to low issues. This is the dashboard view that we created because we realized students weren't completely clicking through all the different stages that we created. So we wanted this to be an overview where the students could see everything critical to their project and the most important issues all in one page. The category view gives a more in-depth view of the specific issues that the students have. We have 5 larger categories here, from communication to Java notes. Within each of these, we have subcategories of issues, and any of these can be expanded to show specific issues. Students also have the ability to add or remove these issues from their to-do list, and also to hide these issues. At the bottom of the screen, you can see the hidden categories that the students have, the rule, the reason they felt it was no longer necessary, and the author. We can move between these categories to see other examples. The by file view gives a more in-depth view of what was in the dashboard. You can look at the files in a tree structure by both the checklist issues and looking at each one by severity. Here we can see that the view controller had mostly medium and low issues, whereas Java had one issue, but it was of high severity. We can also see a similar view down below. This team had no duplication, but we'll find another team after where we can show the duplication of this analysis tool. Next page is the longest methods. Here we sort the longest methods by length, and you can view any specific one and add it to the to-do list if necessary. Finally, we have the to-do list. Here you can update the severity for your to-dos, and then they'll sort by severity high to low. You can remove them, and you can also mark them as completed, where it'll move down to the bottom. We've also added in some features that allow the students to customize. For example, they can move to light to dark mode, and also update the color of the project. Here's an example of the duplication screen that we couldn't see earlier because the other team had no duplication issues. So this is split into inter-file duplication, which shows duplication between two separate classes or files. In this example, leaderboard scene.java and result scene.java have a very similar method here, player lineup and add button. These are copied basically character for character, and it would be much better if these would be extracted out into another class, or perhaps leaderboard scene and result scene could inherit from the same class. Similarly, game.java and card picking scene.java both show very similar exception handling. Below we can see intra-file duplication. So this is within the same file. And here basically we can see the input method invalid string is being reused within card judging scene. It should probably be extracted into a constant. And here we can see this line, which is being repeated 3 times in card judging scene, that the string should be extracted possibly to a constant, and also this could be a helper method, or depending on how the class is structured, should be handled in a different way rather than repeating this incredibly long string 3 times, just making your class less extensible.